Hello and welcome to Atlas Automotive Care. Today we are working on a John Deere XVU825M. It's got a very squeaky alternator belt. You can probably hear some. Yeah, so we're going to need to replace that. I'm going to show you how. You need an alternator belt, a good socket set, and a pry bar. Okay. Did you not have the pry bar ready? We went through this. You were supposed to go and get all the tools and be ready to drop them down as I said them, one of those quick little, cut things. All right, whatever, there's the pry bar. Go ahead and lift up that rear bed. If you don't have the hydraulic system, there's a little latch right there you can pull up and get it out of the way. What we got to do is get this cover off. There's a couple of 10mm bolts on either side. You can use a fancy ratchet like I am, or just the one out of your kit. Doesn't really matter, but that'll help you to get that cover off, and boom, alternator belt. What we're going to do next is loosen up both of these bolts. They're a 13mm, and you just have to loosen them. You don't have to take them all the way out. This is your belt tensioner. And we're going to start with the bottom, get that one loose before we move up to the top. And we want to give them a good view. Come on, move the camera. That's not a good view. And you know what? We probably should have taken the key out of the ignition before we started. Always a good practice, disconnect your battery. You don't want any accidental starts or arcing while you're working on the electrical system. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get that bolt loose now. And that will help to relieve that tension on the belt. But the problem with these, I've noticed, is that alternator doesn't really move over that much to be able to just pull that belt off. And you can see I'm trying to push it over as far as I can. So what I've found that helps is grabbing a 17mm to put on the crank and turning that crank pulley always clockwise, while shoving in a little extension and kind of helping to pry it off the belt, that is, as I'm turning it. And that will help to pop it off. You can see here, there it goes. Yep, right there. And we'll go ahead and pull out the new belt to put on and route that in. It's okay if it's not perfect right now. You'll see we kind of get it mostly routed, and then here in a little bit we're going to try and put this belt back on. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. You can still use that little extension method, but honestly doesn't really need to be done. You can mostly get the belt kind of around the side portion there, and then just turn that crank again, and you can see that it will go ahead and line itself back up into place. Now, when I finished here, I went to check the other pulleys, and you'll actually notice the belt's hanging off of the alternator pulley a little bit. You can kind of push the belt as you're turning, but more than likely you can just turn it and it will line itself up on all of the pulleys. And I'm just checking to make sure they're all good. Now we need to move that alternator over. So I've grabbed the pry bar, and there's a spot in between the alternator and the engine and a bracket here that I'm placing that pry bar. You don't really want to pry against any plastic pieces or anything that's not like the housing of the alternator. You could break something. But once I've got it pried over far enough, it's not much, then you can go ahead and tighten that top bolt with that 13mm. And all that's left from there is just retightening the bottom bolt, putting the cover on, dropping down that bed, and we'll give it a test fire. Pop the key in the right way. No, I said the right way. There you go. And we'll get it started. And how does it sound? That's what we wanted to hear, or I guess not hear. If this was helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe and do all the things. Have a good day.